Welcome back. You are through to another episode of At Your Big Age. I'm, of course, your host, Dionne.
I'm Fisher.
So today we've got a live audience in and they are going to give us some wildcard questions. So I'm going to hand over to Nee.
Okay. Hi. First question. Which one we going?
Let's go with that one.
Okay, cool. This is coming as this is one question, but it's told in two parts.
Okay.
Name 3 attributes of black men, 2 positive, 1 area of improvement. Name 3 attributes of black women, 2 positive, 1 area of improvement.
Okay, positive attributes of black men for me. I love the confidence. And I generally love the energy that they kind of carry. So I feel like for the majority of black men that I know and I kind of see about, they just kind of carry themselves, like, you know, whether they're young, whether they're old, they just have this esteem about them. And even if maybe deep down they might not be that confident, they still carry this thing. And I love that. That's for me personally.
I want to call you out though. I feel like that's one thing. That's one attribute.
No, confidence and energy are 2 different things. Because you could be confident but have a very shitty energy.
True that.
Do you get what I'm saying? You see?
You got to do 2 negatives now.
No, one.
One negative.
One area of improvement. It's not negative.
Area of improvement for black men. For me, I want black men to focus on their mental health. I feel like there's a lot of black men who are, walking around with a lot of stuff on their shoulders, and they're not taking the time out to dig deep. So that is, I think that's my thing. Yeah.
I'll follow that up.
Agree with that.
I'll follow that up.
Yeah, I would say that I agree with that. I think areas of improvement would obviously them looking after themselves, their mental health, etc. So I would agree with that. In terms of obviously the attributes of black men, I think their confidence 100.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with Nee a little bit that the confidence and energy could be sort of on par. Mm-hmm. But I get where you kind of broke it down and said, it's either a shitty energy. Oh, excuse my language, but it's either a good energy or a bad energy. But it's a thin line between that, I think.
What would you add in other than confidence/energy?
Ooh, that's a tricky one. I don't want to bring it down. I'll be like, just the way they look.
That's how you feel. That's how you feel.
We'll take that.
It's the way they look. Their skin, their glow.
That's how you feel.
So are you going to do the same question for Kieron but for women?
Yeah.
Okay.
2 attributes, 1 area of improvement.
I don't know. Attributes, I don't know. The whole thing, they're just fantastic. I couldn't even pick out 2. They're just wonderful. Aren't
we just?
I couldn't
That's
even.
why he's the mayor.
We'll start talking. I'll be here all day. I'll be here all night.
Go for it.
It's wild. There's too much stuff. Just everything. The way they walk, the way they talk, the way they move, the way they deal with situations, the way they raise their kids, the way they deal with you. Where can we start? It's everywhere. It's everything. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. We love it. And we need more of it. We love it. And you know what? What was the negative? I can't even think of nothing negative. I love everything. I'm not going to say anything.
Don't be so pretty.
No. Yeah. Do less. Do less. Give us the opportunity to do a little bit more. Do less.
There's going to be some men watching this saying, they're just pandering.
He's doing a pick me.
I'm a diver. I'm going to go in.
I knew I never liked that guy.
I give what was it? 2 positives.
2 positives.
I don't know about 2 positives. I don't want you to take it a negative, but strength. Strength. I feel like understand we have to fight against adversity all the time. Understand and being raised by a black woman, You understand? You see a lot of strength. You understand? Not everyone, I don't want to generalize, but absent fathers, you understand? And especially when you have kids, you see a lot what a black woman does. Yeah, so strength, I want to admire black women for strength. I don't really know what to add for another positive, but a thing to improve, I would say is don't be so insecure. Be yourself, because
insecure. That's interesting. Can you
And let me elaborate a bit, because I don't want it to come across as a negative. As in, I feel like black people are beautiful. Be confident. Be more confident. You understand? Because the confidence is sexy. I feel like sometimes we're led astray by the social medias and how people want you to look and how they want you to be. But when you really dig down deep into it, and if you ask any man, no matter what they try to put on for the bravado, they really love what we get from like the motherland, the nurturing, the strength, the beauty, and the natural. Understand? So I'd say just be yourself, be confident, because really, truly, deep down, I don't know about everyone, but I love it.
Alive?
Yeah.
Love that.
So
Can I just throw a little sub question in there? You know, when you spoke about black women and strength, right? As much as, yes, black women, we are known for our strength and stuff like that, but is it not, when does it get to the point where we don't have to be so strong? Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, we do carry a very, very, very heavy load. And I think sometimes, because people do have this expectation, more and more just kind of gets piled upon us. And then we get told that we're displaying too many masculine traits.
Too much strength.
And yada, yada, yada. But then someone's got to take off the load in order for us to flourish in our feminine.
It's got to be you then.
How can we flourish in our feminine if actually we have to be as strong as everyone's expecting us to be?
Well, see, this is the thing. I didn't say you have to be as strong. I said I admire the fact that you can be.
Capability to be.
Can be. You understand? You don't have to do it. You don't have to, present it every day. But the truth is, especially what you said about like a man's mental health, I feel like men don't get to express themselves sometimes openly to their partners. I mean, even not just to their partners, even to their mothers or black females or whatever not. So they don't get to express themselves enough. And the fact that when as a man, when we do get to express ourselves, we're leaving ourselves very vulnerable. And the fact that you can have the strength to bypass the emotion and still find a way to lift me up, that's admiration. It's admiration. You understand? So it's not the fact that you have to do that every day, but the fact that you can do it.
If it needs to happen.
Yeah, I think it has to be applauded.
Yeah, bang on.
Okay, lovely. All right, next question.
Can I add on to that?
Of course you can, yeah.
So my addition to that, hi everyone, is that it's the responsibility of us as adults to really be able to be very true, be our true selves. So that means, yes, being strong, but this idea that women, black women, are strong or have to be strong or deal with that weight, it's the responsibility of everyone. That's why this question to me is kind of problematic, because I don't really like dealing with generalizations, but I do take the point that it can be helpful. But this idea of, strength, I think we have to kind of, I feel like we have to give ourselves the space.
Yes.
Men and women, it's so important in order to be like healthy individuals, to give ourselves, allow ourselves, no matter what the society is saying, no matter what conditioning is saying, no matter what mummy said, daddy said, whatever we learned growing up, whatever, it's so important to just really reveal what is true for you as an individual. And that means that takes space. That's why I don't really like these generalizations. But, it was nice to hear these beautiful things.
And just, Dionne asked, when is a time for you to stop being strong? When do you get a chance to, step back from that role? I think we all need to recognize that this is a team sport. And not everybody's played their roles in the way that they were supposed to. And this is the first generation of men who are actively and genuinely trying to step into that role of men, trying to be husbands, fathers, trying to be attentive, not necessarily knowing the best way to do that.
Being allowed to be as well.
Yeah.
So, as we are stepping into those roles, more actively, that creates the space that Ren was just talking about for women to step back and assess themselves and decide how they want to show up in relationships. And when I say relationships, it's not just romantic. It's, as they say, it takes a village. One thing that I think we do need to appreciate is there's this rhetoric that men don't know how to express themselves, or they don't know how to communicate well. So this comes on to my point about what is a area of improvement for women. It's accountability and not taking, when men do choose to speak up, not taking what is being said as a personal attack. Actually, again, first generation of men that are trying to fulfill these roles, and when we communicate these things, it doesn't necessarily come off the best, but it's because we care. It's because we're trying to do our best. And in that message that isn't necessarily coming off great, and it is our responsibility to learn how to communicate, but we're doing it. Note that there are, yes, you're being strong. Yes, you're showing up in ways that you didn't necessarily have to in your masculine. But there is some work for you to be done. And as an observer of women in these relationships in our society, we do have a valid viewpoint. I think that's something that needs to be taken on board. And going back to the two attributes, my main attribute I would say is the patience. And I know that aligns itself with strength. And there is a thin line between patience and cowardice. But I think it's beautiful how black women have been patient with us for generations. And now we're starting to show up. So I think acknowledge the fact that we're trying to show up.
Do you know what? Yeah, I love that and I appreciate that. I think on the point about women and being accountable, especially in the context that you're saying, I think that is a massive thing, because I think, I feel like just generally amongst men and women, regardless of race, I feel like like you say, where we are at a point now where men are starting to speak up and talk about, it's almost like women feel attacked all of a sudden. But in actual fact, we've had a lot of time to express ourselves, and it's been, whether it be in TV, movies, through music, all that kind of stuff. So I would just like to say to women, you need to offer that same kind of opening to men, and also understand that men don't necessarily communicate the same way that we do. So like you rightly said, the delivery might be wrong, and absolutely that's something that you guys should work on. But rather than reacting, just listen. Just listen. And then there's so much that can come out from that. So, yeah.
Oh, no, I definitely agree. But that's why I said it brings me back to my point where I say I admire, like, the strength. And I feel like sometimes that word is looked at too generic, because I feel like we look at strength as in power, you know what I mean? And it always has to be like, very... I don't want to use the word masculine, but it has to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
However, it takes great strength to show your emotion.
Yeah.
It takes great strength to be vulnerable. You understand? So my whole point about it is, understand, that is strength. And that's what you really have to push. You know what I mean? And I don't think it works both ways. As a man has to show, we can't always put our not being able to express ourselves on a woman. And on the flip side, the only reason why I answered like that is because, like I said, I don't want women to, like I said, break down the walls. You know what I mean? Because especially when it comes down to like relationships, all these things are risks. You understand? Anytime you get into a relationship, you are risking your heart. That's facts. So you understand, you're potentially gonna get hurt. You know what I mean? If you don't lay yourself naked, then you're never gonna be the best version.
Lay yourself bare.
Lay yourself bare. Sorry, bare. Love laid bare. You know what I mean? Then you're never gonna reach your full potential. You know what I mean? There's always gonna be something holding you back, and there's always gonna be something holding the man back, and then you're never gonna actually break the barriers and meet a successful relationship.
Well said. Well said. Okay. Well said.
I love this for us. This is some good adult content.
Yes.
No, we just. I clap to everyone here. This is
very nourishing and enriching,
uplifting.
isn't it?
Yes, I love this for us.
Yeah.
This is wonderful.
Let's do the next question.
Still not having it.
I like people to take take responsibility for themselves, regardless man, woman, black, white, this and that. Anyway, the question next is love a feeling or a choice?
Okay, right. So, I'm going to answer this one very, very quickly. First of all, love is an action word. Yeah? Love is an action word. Me personally, I believe that love is a choice. I believe that, yes, you can fall in lust, you can fall in admiration, you can fall in that kind of aspect, but love is a choice, because in order for you to love someone, you need to continuously do certain things for that bond and that attachment to grow. So personally, I would say, what's the question again?
Is it?
Personally, I feel like love is a feeling, but before you can get to that point, I believe that love is a choice. Love, not, oh my God, I really like you. Oh my God, I think you're sexy. Oh my God. No, love is a choice first. The feelings that you have, that's fine, but are those feelings love?
See, I would say it comes the other way around, because you get that kind of butterflies feeling
That's not love.
No, but you get that first, and then you make the choice to be consistent about whether or not you love that person.
But that feeling, that butterfly feeling isn't love.
No, but yes, for some people it is.
No, it's not.
Can I ask
For
a question?
some people it is. I don't think that. I think love is generally a feeling.
Can I ask
It's
a
like,
question?
For me personally, how I love is that it's very sort of, it feels kind of, I don't know, sort of very spiritual, very up there in terms of it just being a sort of cold choice. I'm choosing to love you. And I don't know, maybe I'm a bit more airy-fairy about it, but the fact of the matter, for me, it comes from the gut out, and it's like, it's very much like that. And then it's like, okay, I love this person, so am I going to be consistent in this love and show them my love in various different ways and how I love them? It's not necessarily I wake up and decide, oh, I love you today. You know what I mean? Because also for me is that I don't necessarily show that love in a very gushing way, because I'm quite a guarded person. So sometimes it could be, yeah, I love you inside, but I'm going to show you in little ways after that fact.
So that's more your attachment style.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't necessarily think I woke up and decided, I love you now. I have to feel it. Something in me moves for me to be like, I love you. You know?
Okay.
Are we talking strictly about romantic love?
No. Because I think...
Good question.
I don't think, for me personally, it's not just about romantic love and the kind of the love hearts and the birds singing.
Disney.
The Disney love. I don't think it's just about that for me. But I don't know, I'm a bit of a complex soul when it comes to love.
The reason I ask is because if we're not talking strictly about romantic love, then what Dionne's saying about the action is correct, because there's parents, siblings that we don't have that same feeling for that we will for our romantic
fair
partners.
enough, yeah.
However, I think there is something to be said for that emotion that comes with, or that people describe as love. And you're talking about that gushing love. There's an enthusiasm that comes with the emotion. So the deed is going to be the deed, right? We're supposed to be loving human beings anyway.
Yeah.
That's what we're here to do, I believe. That's all there is. So if I don't have an enthusiasm, that's going to show up in the relationships that I have.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking.
So it's both.
The power behind it.
Yes,
You know?
the power. I think that's a beautiful word to use. The power behind it is very key in how you show up in the relationships, but it needs to show up, and that's the verb that Dionne was talking about.
Oh, that was lovely.
I don't know. I don't know how you follow that up.
I don't know what I mean.
But I'm interested to see where you're going to go, because
Yeah.
Very well.
I've got nothing to
He's
say
your
in this
crowd.
segment.
When he started, I had something, and then by the end, I was like, oh.
It had pace. It had pace.
So what
It
was the
picked
initial
up,
question?
yeah. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I'm gonna be very honest. I think love is a feeling. Yeah, and the reason why I think love is a feeling, because feelings can grow, they can go, they can forever change. You understand? And you can't necessarily control them. Yeah. If it was a choice, that means if you was headstrong, you'd be able to control a lot of things that you do. Yeah. And if that was the case, then a lot of people wouldn't fall in love with the wrong things. And there's a lot of people in this world who are in love with the wrong things. And I'm talking about from a romantic point of view, and I'm talking about otherwise. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, but we're making the assumption that those people have good. Oh, I thought you were going. Sorry.
I got something for your ass.
Hold on. Okay, I've just lost my train of thought. What did you say?
No, I'm saying I think it's a feeling.
It's a feeling.
It's a feeling because yeah, you can fall in love with the wrong things basically, and I feel like that's where people. I mean, like people. If we talk about in a relationship point of view, people stay in relationships longer than they should. You understand? Or because they love something. That's totally
yeah, but does
wrong.
but does it boil down to just the feeling of love, or could it be that, for example, there could be codependency going on there? They could be in a very toxic situation. It could be down to their attachment styles. You see what I mean? Is it literally just love that keeps someone there? I don't necessarily think so. Sometimes there's benefits to being in a situation that you're not supposed to be in. Do you get what I'm saying?
But a lot of the time, when you're in a situation that you're not supposed to be in, you don't even recognize that you're not supposed to be in it.
There's that too.
Right? So that is about feeling as opposed to a choice, because once you realize that you're not supposed to be in this situation, 9 times out of 10, you don't make the choice to leave.
Preach.
Yeah. So...
But that's more so down to what's going on in your brain. That's the behavior. I'm not saying that you don't love that person. Sorry, I'm not saying that you don't love that person. But I just feel like there needs to be probably a bit more education about what's going on in your brain, as opposed to everyone just saying, "Oh, it's because I love him." No, it's not, sweetheart.
Yes, yeah.
It's
but
not
because
all
you
the time.
don't know that though.
And that's what I'm saying.
But
Yeah.
So that takes out the whole thing of choice, because at the end of the day, you're going on the feeling and the feeling that I love this person, as opposed to I'm choosing to stay in this toxic situation because I'm just choosing to stay in it. Because you're clouded by that. All the
other stuff.
I love this guy and I can't even tell you why, but he's awful. But I'm still here because I feel something, you know? So for a lot of people, it is about a feeling as opposed to a choice. Because, I mean, if I talk about my own situation, there was like someone that I knew that this person was horrendous, but my feelings kept me in that horrendous situation. If I followed my choices and my brain as opposed to the heart, if we're going to just kind of use simple, you know, things to describe where feeling and choice, I wouldn't have made the choice to continue to stay in a bad situation.
But this is what I'm going to say. It's what's going on in your brain that you're not even consciously aware of that's keeping you there. It's not necessarily the love, because the thing is, if it, like, really and truly, if it's genuine and true and pure love, all that negative stuff, really and truly, I'm speaking hypothetically here, the two shouldn't coexist in a full loving union. But we're talking about toxic relationships, right?
Yeah, but it's like,
in
but
the
then
ideal
sometimes
world,
you're in something so deep, you're so blinded, you know.
Because
your
you're
mother can tell you, your
codependent.
father can tell you, your friends can tell you.
Right.
You're so blinded, but your feeling is carrying you to be like, but I, you know, like you said, but I just love him.
But
I can't even explain why.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
But
he does a lot of things.
So, but that's not love, though.
But in that present moment, that's what you think.
Yeah, that's what you think. Yeah, exactly.
But just to bring it back to
yeah.
your original question. So the original question was this: is love a feeling or a choice? And so with that, going back to the original question, I think I then have to agree with Kim. The idea is, listen.
What did you call her?
No, I didn't call her Kim. I didn't call her Kim.
I know she don't love that.
I know you're trying to come for me. I'm not going to let you get away with that. What did you call her?
You know, it's Keely. As Keely was saying, I agree with Keely. What I'm saying to you is this. It's the same reason why you'd have a child that would love their absentee father or someone that didn't play a role in their life. If it was up to their choice, they would choose not to because that person was absent. But
Okay.
because love is a feeling, they can't remove the feeling that they have or that love they have for that absentee father or mother that wasn't there, regards to the
Absolutely,
situation.
but we weren't
So,
talking about kids though.
no, I think we were just saying love. We didn't even say if it was kids or adults. What we said was, is love a feeling or is it a choice? So in me bringing that point full circle, if we're looking at love as a whole, take adults out the situation, even apply this to kids and everybody. Love has to be a feeling and not a choice, because the kids don't choose to love their parents or anyone. Even an absentee parent, you'll see a child sticking up for their absentee parent because of that feeling of love they have for them, even though choice-wise they probably shouldn't.
But is it a feeling of love, or is it just a feeling of just a void?
So
Do you see what I mean?
The question I want to ask you is, I like the absentee parent analogy. Does that child have an idea of a parent that creates a feeling in their mind because they don't actually have that relationship?
That person may have a very good relationship with their mother. But have you seen that? Like with a, not like that, and not like the mother even puts down the dad. She probably tries her best not to, but the dad, the child has a longing for the dad.
Yeah.
Sometimes the mum's even trying to protect the child by keeping them away from the father because they know the father doesn't have that attachment to the child. So they're trying to avoid that hurt. But the child is longing for it. So even though the mother doesn't downplay the father, she doesn't put his name out there, or she doesn't badmouth him to the child has this longing for this father that hasn't been there, even though they have a great example of a loving mother.
So is longing love? Is absenteeism love? What are we saying in that situation is creating the emotion or the love that you're talking about?
I don't know what creates it. I just know it's the end result. It's the love. Something created
It's
it.
the idea of it, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't think I get where you're coming from with it, but I think that's searching for love. I think that's what that's what you're doing. You're searching for love. And that's why I said I agree. I believe love is a feeling, but I do believe what you said there when it's like filling a void. If you know what I'm saying. But if we,
I'd like a chance to say something when you're done.
don't you want to go now?
No, I don't want to interrupt.
Okay, no, because I was going to flip it. What I was going to say is, if we take it away from, again, we put another spin on it in regards to family members. So you ever find yourself sometimes just doing a certain thing for family members, you just know they're no good. You don't know why you're always helping them out. You don't know.
Because you lack boundaries.
Can I just say something?
Oh,
Because-
you are cold.
because that
dear.
is
No, I wasn't saying you personally.
No, I hear you.
There is a reason that I chose this question, and it's because I do feel like what Dionne was saying, that generally in society has been conditioned to be codependent, and it's a way of relating to one another. It means that you're not. You tend to not necessarily have boundaries. You tend to not necessarily know what it is that you want. You're more focused on, and I want to finish my point, please.
I just wanted to ask what codependency was.
I will. I'll get to that. I'm trying to get to that. But it's basically there's ways of relating with one another. There's independence, codependence, and interdependence. So how it's generally known in how we're like looking at it more and more these days is the healthy aspect of relating is interdependent, which means that you've got healthy relationship with yourself and others, not just that you're focused on what is my relationship with this other person. So when Dionne is like bringing up codependency and all of that stuff, I think it's actually this is a wider society thing that we have to educate ourselves on. Because all these relationships that you're talking about, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether it's a parent and a child or romantic. It doesn't matter. It's about how do I have it? And that's why that I answered it, because the choice aspect brings in the interdependence. Then it makes you say, well, what does it mean to love? You start to say, well, how do I know that they love me? Because that and these are the questions that you start to answer when you're thinking, So I love this question because it makes us accountable as human beings.
You know, it's a very good question because, like I said, there's certain things that you brought up that I just can't argue with. You know what I mean? But like I said, if I look down to generally just what I believe in, I just feel like With a choice, I can chop and change my choices. With the feelings, sometimes I gotta wait for it to die out.
Because just to add, somebody asked me they asked me a question. They said, "How do you know that the person loved you?" Because when
Bless you.
when you're being told, "I love you," somebody's saying that to you. I love you, but they're also mistreating you in different ways. Could be physically, could be verbally, could be mentally. They're making you feel. They're doing something to you that is unacceptable.
Yeah.
But they're also saying, "I love you. But I love you though. I love you." So when you hear that, you deal with that. You train yourself to understand that love hurts.
Yes.
Love hurts. That's how I understand love. So that's why we have to, be. Fisher, you're falling asleep.
I'm listening to every single. You carry on. I'm listening to every single word.
This
that's
is
coming
why
out
it's
your
so
mouth.
important that we have to ask ourselves as people, what do I understand by love?
And then you also have to understand if someone, like you say, if someone's telling you they love you, but they're also mistreating you at the time, ask them what is their definition of love. What does love mean to you? Because 9 times out of 10, if you were to switch that behaviour back on them,
I wouldn't like it.
they wouldn't like it.
Yeah,
How could you possibly love me?
I wholeheartedly agree with that, but that's based on another person's word, and we're now talking about someone else. We're talking about, where in my eyes, I'm talking about if love for me, not for somebody else. Love for me is a feeling. You can tell me, everyone in this room can tell me they love me. That don't mean nothing.
I love you.
I love you too, B. But my whole point is, anyone in this room can tell me they love me. So I'm not going to base love on what you do, or what you say, or what you feel. I don't know what you feel. You can tell me whatever. I base it off me. You know what I'm saying? So when I base it off me, it's about what I can control and whatever not. And I feel like once the feeling grows, it takes time to amend. Now you can overcome it, and you can kill it. Like I said, when you love the wrong things, you can overcome and you battle it and you can kill it. But my whole point is, it's not something that you could just snap out. When I make a choice, I can make a choice to do this, and then I could chop and change it to do that. I don't think a feeling is something that you could die down. I think it takes a minute to change.
Yeah, because I'm kind of like, it's very, very 50-50 in the kind of the question, feeling and choice. I think it's a bit of both when it comes to love. Like I said, I feel like it starts with a feeling, and then it evolves into a choice. Because I think one of the things you said was, when someone's being, I think it was actually you, Ben, that said it, when someone's being out of order to you, but they're telling you that they love you, and it's kind of, well, what is their understanding of what love is? And our interpretation of what love is very different for probably everybody in the room here. It's based on how you feel someone should be treating you and how they should be making you feel. If they're making you feel awful, then we decide that is not love. And love, I think one of the things you said, Ren, is that we learn that love hurts. Love should never hurt, so...
Well...
Love should never hurt. I don't think love should hurt. Me personally,
Like,
it shouldn't be a painful thing. It shouldn't be a depressing
No.
thing.
It shouldn't be a painful thing.
That
But
struggle love. That
no.
people
We're
talk
not
about.
talking about struggle love.
Yeah,
No.
So it's just one of those things.
I think that might be the first thing I disagree with.
Love shouldn't be struggle love.
No, not that. Sorry. No, I'm talking about that love shouldn't hurt. Love can hurt. The reason why, because like I said, if I love you, I can be brutally honest with you. And sometimes brutal honesty can hurt you. Like, why does it have to be brutal?
Why does it have to be brutal?
We're going to use the word brutal honesty. What I mean is that I'm just going to tell you what I think, because I feel like I can be open with you then.
No filter.
No filter. Yeah, we're going to change it. Not brutal, but no filter. So I'm just going to be, straight, plain.
When you say hurt,
Huh?
Is love not compassionate?
No, it is. But my whole point is sometimes it can hurt. You can tell me something, that you believe is the best for me. Like, if you believe I'm doing something crazy or whatever not, you could be doing that out of the best for me. It doesn't mean that I want to hear that. Doesn't mean now when I don't want to accept these things, they can hurt me. So what I mean, and that's why I said it's not that I disagree with everything you're saying. What I mean is it can hurt you. And I don't think we should always, I think when we look at the words like hurt, and we always think toxic.
because it's like tough love, that sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean,
but is it the love that actually hurts, or is it just? Do you see what I mean? So is it love?
Because if I love a friend and they're morbidly obese, and I say, "Go gym, you fat fuck," or I say, "Do you know what? I'm concerned about your health. I think we should look into, improving your diet and getting some regular exercise." They're telling him exactly the same thing.
Its delivery's different.
Yeah, you're saying with
So
compassion.
one's compassionate,
Yeah,
one's brutal honesty. But they're both sending the same message. So which one is loving really?
No, but they both could hurt.
It's perception, though, isn't it?
They could both hurt. You know what I mean? And that's why I said we can't look at someone else. It depends how I anticipate it. It could still hurt me, but I can still receive that message that you're just trying to look out for the best for me.
But the reason that I gave the example about looking at what someone else is doing is because your own understanding of what love is will then determine how you relate with another person in front of you.
Okay.
So because you guys were talking about, there's certain examples I was hearing like, I'm with her, I'm with him because I love him. And actually that was sounding more like codependency and attachment. We're talking about the children.
Yeah.
But this idea that just because I love someone, I have to be with them, we have to look at that because when you're really looking at love and but love as in all the love, like the love that I've got for me and the love that I've got for you means that I'm going to love you and leave you. That's what it means. It can mean that because my love is so big that it can hold that space. I don't have to be with you. So that's why that's how we detach it from the toxicity of where it can take us to really healthy love that is like a choice.
So in a sense, because like I said, it's very hard to I can feel I can believe what I believe, but then sometimes I hear you not say certain things. It's very hard to argue with. If I'm not like you're trying to argue with it, but I hear it and I'm like, yo, that makes a lot of sense. So could we say like what Keely said? Do they work hand in hand? There's is love a bit of both? You know what I mean?
All encompassing.
Yeah. Does it? You know what I mean? Does it balance between the two? You know what I mean? Because it is a difficult question.
What do you think, Kieron?
Oh, I'm purely
Embracing.
I have nothing to add to this. I'll be honest.
Could you just pass me the
No, I'll be honest. I have nothing to
box
add
on
to
there
this.
for me.
It's a difficult one, isn't it? It's
No,
tough.
it's
tough. It is tough.
It's hard.
No,
You lot are
that
blowing my
purple box on the
mind.
table.
Yeah.
No.
tough. It is
No,
tough.
closer.
Blowing my mind.
It's good though because it does make you. I mean, it's like I said, it makes you think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, so but it's,
I'm having there's internal conversations happening in my head now, but I'm just listening to you.
And that's what we want.
I'm listening to you. Like, this is.
yeah,
this
we're
is
hoping all the viewers at home sitting there like, oh
been
wait,
a lot.
Just keep it running if you just want the outtakes.
Yeah, we need outtakes. You said we
Okay,
need
I just want
outtakes.
to close the episode and then you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, but he's got a question.
No, we're going to do that for the next episode.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay, so that was a very
Profound.
deep discussion, very nourishing. I loved every second of that. I decided just to get the guests to randomly pick some questions from this card deck that I bought from BOB UK. I went to their event a couple of weeks ago. Love it. This isn't even promo for them. It's just a really good debate game where you can just have discussions and stuff like that. So well done, sis, for this. Really good. So we'll be back next week we're going to be on our episode 16.
We're on a roll, man.
Episode 16. So thank you for tuning in. I'd love to see your comments about some of the discussions that we've had. Drop them in the comments. And remember, you can listen on audio, so whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
We're on Spotify now.
We've always been on Spotify. You can listen to At Your Big Age on the Love Laid Bare platform on any
And
podcast
and
streaming platform. Go in. Anything. Google Podcasts, whatever it is, Amazon. We're everywhere. Okay, well, just want to say thank you to my studio audience.
Love that.
Of course, thank you to my amazing co-host Kieron.
Amazing. Emphasis on the amazing. Phenomenal.
And I'm
Amazing,
Dionne,
right?
and it's a wrap.
Rap. Because I thought you put a Spotify link up the other day on something. I thought you made a mistake.